Our next presenter is Jordan James. He's a doctoral student in Organization, Information, and Learning Sciences.
So put yourself in these shoes. You're a first-generation college student, the first one in your family to go to college. You figured out what you want to be when you grow up, and you figured out the degree that's going to get you there. Now, during your first year of coursework is generally when you get the history of your degree program, and this is where you really come to understand where your degree comes from and how it relates to other degrees. Your second year of coursework is when you get introduced to a lot of theory, and this is where you come to understand why you do the things that you do and the ways that you do them. Now, during your third year of coursework is traditionally when you start to get into some projects. And you take these first couple of years of history and theory and you start to design projects for coursework. Then comes the big one, the fourth year, senior year, graduation is in sight. Now, during this year is the type of coursework that you do starts to connect you to the work that you'll be doing when you graduate. And you start to get a sense of what kind of jobs you may be doing for the rest of your life. And this is when you come to the moment that this is not what I want to be when I grow up. And herein lies the problem, is that currently right now the way that many degree programs are taught is we are inadequately connecting students with the work they're doing in the classroom to the work that they'll actually be doing when they graduate. And this is a really tough situation to be in because usually in your fourth year of college you only got a couple options to you. You could either drop out, you could either go ahead and get a degree that you never plan on using, or you may decide to change degrees. And this is problematic because when you change degrees, it may take an extra year to 3 years of coursework to get a second degree. Now, I currently right now, besides being a full-time PhD student, teach at the School of Architecture and Planning. If you're not familiar with this, think of it this way. Architects design buildings, landscape architects design what goes around the buildings, and we urban planners, we design the entire rest of the city. We designed your communities, we designed your shopping centers, we designed the schools where your kids go, when we designed all the transportations that connect all these things. So what my research does here at UNM is I provide opportunities for my students from year one to be connected to the design challenges that exist for these professionals once they actually graduate from college. And the results of this are quite surprising. What it is that students actually end up developing a very early sense of professional identity. And what this allows them to do is this allows them to persist all the way through college and the entire time be able to connect the coursework that they're doing with the job that they'll actually have when they're done. Now, why is this important? Considering that almost all of my students will go into communities where you live to do professional work, is it more important that I create faceless business professionals that go into your communities and only use theory and history to address problems in your neighborhood? Or do you want diverse, dynamic students who are capable of handling interesting, real-world problems? Thank you.
Jordan, where are you from?
So bonjour everybody, my name is Jordan and I was born and raised in the backwoods of Minnesota in the middle of freaking nowhere on this tiny little Indian reservation. You may know my people as either Ojibwe, Chippewa, or Anishinaabe.
And what brought you to New Mexico?
So when you grow up in Minnesota and there's snow on the ground 8 months out of the year, and you come to the idea that you can go to someplace new that's really sunny and doesn't have those problems, you become really interested in coming to New Mexico.
Great. Thank you so much, Jordan.
Thank you.